Hi YouTube, this is Plano Man, and this is Dylan.
Hi YouTube.
He's driving the 24 Tacoma. We're heading out to lunch. Dylan has owned a third gen Tacoma for almost 4 years. We bought him a 2019 SR5 4x4 when he turned 16. And recently I traded that in on this one. Got a great deal. Those things hold their value like nobody's business. So July, we bought that truck of his in July of 2020. And so coming up on 4 years in July that he will really be used to driving a third gen. He has a 2023 off-road now, which I ran down to him at college when I traded in his to buy this one. So he's driving, getting the feel for it. He's driven it before. So just off the top of your head, what are some of your thoughts, Dylan?
Yeah, it's a smoother ride than the previous gen, aka what I'm accustomed to.
Yeah. What do you mean by smoother? Like the engine, the transmission, the ride quality? What do you mean?
Maybe all of the above. Definitely the engine, because one thing we've talked about is how the V6, it's kind of sluggish.
Yeah, to start. Yeah, off the start.
Yeah, so that definitely stands out to me.
So as you know, so they have the same horsepower, 278. The fourth gen makes more torque. Has 317 pounds of torque that comes in around 1800 RPM, which is where you're taking off. The third gen, which you have, has 278 horsepower, has I think 265 pound-feet of torque, and that comes a little bit higher, I think at over 3,500. So it's not going to come right when you take off. You would have to really gun it to take off from the start.
That's correct.
So does that match your? Right. Even more so than the engine, because the detractors of this say this is a turbo. It's not going to last as long, and all that may be true. Tell me the difference in the transmissions that you feel.
I guess this one shifts more when you expect it to shift. So I remember, before we tuned my truck, it was kind of weird. Like, it would take a second to shift. It was a little awkward, not like most cars.
Gear hunted. And you could really notice it, or I remember it really driving that truck on the highway. You set your cruise control and you expect it just to stay in the same gear, but it didn't. It would always move around, and you would expect that on a uphill or down, but it would always start shifting, and it was kind of interesting. So I'm going to put it in the sport mode.
Ooh.
What do you think about that?
I can tell it's in sport mode.
Yeah, you can tell it, can't you?
Yep.
So it holds the revs longer. It'll keep you in gear longer.
Oh yeah.
And like Dylan mentioned, I don't know if you caught it, but his truck, the 2019 had been tuned, and the 2023 he's driving now have both been tuned with the Overland torque tune. With the second setting, I think it's mild, and then the third setting has been mapped to the ECT button, which gives him a little bit of a sport mode too if he wants it. But overall, the things that right off the bat are the engine, the transmission, the rear suspension with coil springs instead of leaf springs, and then four-wheel disc brakes. All this test head-to-head show that this four-wheel disc brake system will stop you sooner and safer than the old system. I'll be crashing my truck. We're pulling up to lunch here soon. So we're about to pull in and park. As you all know, I have this set to come on to the camera as you slow down to a stop. I don't really know why I have it set to that. I just like it. But we're going to park here. We're going to have some lunch, and we'll join you again on the drive home. Thanks. Stay tuned. Okay, after lunch here, go ahead and give it some gas. I want you to see the pickup.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Good.
It's quicker than any Tacoma I've driven.
Yeah. What's the difference?
Oh I'll stay in the middle.
Tell me what you think about all the information on the instrument panel. How does that compare with the third gen?
Well, I can already tell you it's a lot more informative. Like,
A lot more information, huh?
yeah, with the third gen, to see like all that stuff, you'd have to like shift through a few panels or menus on like, it was like a little screen, but now it's like all digital, but there's a lot more information on there.
Yeah.
All like trip distance and stuff.
Yeah.
MPG.
Well, and those actually are customizable.
Ooh.
You can put whatever you want on the left, whatever you want on the right. There's 6 different settings, or 3 different sets of settings, so 6 total. However you want it, whatever you want to see. So a lot more information, like you said, other than just the analog. Yeah, so overall I like driving it. The one bummer about it is how many miles are left? Does it say the range? 283.
Where's the range?
The range is right down here by the gas tank.
Yep, 283.
And they took out about 2 or 3 gallons. I can't remember. I think it's almost 3
It's like
gallons.
3, yeah, that's what I remember.
So that's not good. I wish it had like a 400 mile range, but it doesn't. I usually go to 350. You can see that trip A. I reset that every time, and so when it gets close to 350, I know I need to get some gas. I'm usually already in reserve by then, so.
Makes sense.
But anyway, all right. Well, YouTube, these were just a couple additional comments from a 4-year third-gen driver. Again, I know some folks are just dead set against change. I know the number one thing we hear is the cost. They make 8 different trims, though. You don't have to buy premium trim. I wanted premium trim. I wanted these bomb-proofed Softex seats that have the heating and the ventilation. I mean, but obviously you don't need to have that to have a great truck. The things you get with it, that everyone gets, is the engine, the transmission, great pair. SR5 and up, you get the coil suspension in the back instead of the leaf springs, and you get the rear disc brakes, which make a difference instead of the drum brakes. So anyway, this is Dylan and Plano Man, and thanks for watching. And this is Plano Man out. Take care, everyone.